And President and CEO of the National Constitution Center, Jeffrey Rosen. He's a contributing editor at The Atlantic, and it's good to have you both on. Joyce, what do you make of what went down yesterday and what Trump's attorneys are arguing? It feels like, but perhaps you could confirm with your knowledge and context, delay tactics. But also it feels like this judge is going to be pushed to the limit every step of the way.
Sure. So, Mika, I think that's right. With Trump, when doesn't it feel like delay tactics? That's his only legal strategy here. We never hear denials that he engaged in criminal conduct or any kind of substantive defense. It feels, I think, a little bit like watching a ping pong match. The action has been so fast over the last weekend. And although it puts pressure on Judge Chutkan, who's hearing the D.C. prosecution of Donald Trump, we've now reached the point where we have to work to keep the many criminal cases separate. But Judge Chutkan seems to be more than up to this, firing back on her own, sometimes within minutes, setting hearings, requiring responsive pleadings. She seems fully engaged and ready to go. What's at stake here is whether Donald Trump gets to try this case in the press, taking information that the government shares with him as it's obligated to in the discovery process and letting him talk about it in public, or whether he'll be required to try his case in court like any other criminal defendant. You know, protective orders are routine. They exist in virtually every case. They're almost never controversial. They protect witnesses and they protect the process from this sort of premature disclosure that can taint jury pools. Everything that the president is doing here is, the former president, is out of bounds and designed to damage the rule of law.
Well, speaking of out of bounds, Jeffrey Rosen, many of his supporters, many news outlets that are blindly pro-Trump. And I must say, many establishment Republicans who claim to be never-Trumpers have suddenly started all sort of saying in unison, this is a First Amendment issue, as if having a conspiracy to create fake electors and steal the votes of millions of Americans from 7 states somehow contained in protections afforded by the First Amendment. Talk about that, if you will, and what the pushback to that lie should be.
Well, it's true that the core of President Trump's defense in this trial is going to be that he does have a First Amendment right because he believed his own election lies. And if, as he claims, he legitimately was trying to stop the steal, then he can't be prosecuted for so-called fraudulently trying to overturn the election. But that First Amendment defense, which he's definitely entitled to put on, although it may not succeed, is very different from this broader effort to attack the legitimacy of the judicial process itself. And this, as you've been discussing, is a direct attack on the rule of law, and the stakes could not be more grave. The closest analog in history is the treason trial of Aaron Burr, where Jefferson is indicting his former vice president for treason. There's an effort to question the legitimacy of the entire process. And Alexander Hamilton says this is the fulfillment of our fears that a demagogue might subvert the American Republic. And Hamilton says, when a man unprincipled in private life, desperate in his fortune, bold in his temper, is seen to mount the hobby horse of popularity, he may ride the storm and direct the whirlwind. Eventually, the trial goes forward. Burr is acquitted on the technical claim that the treason requirements weren't met, and Jefferson accepts the verdict. What's urgently important for the country right now is that Republicans and Democrats accept the legitimacy of this proceeding and not try to attack it, not call it Nazi Germany or a sham indictment, because if our institutions fail and if both sides don't embrace the rule of law itself, then we may see a tragic rupture of the American institutions of democracy, much as was narrowly averted in 1800. The stakes could not be higher at this historic moment.